My name is Ric Fail.
And what does being an athletic trainer mean to you?
I think being an athletic trainer means to me helping athletes with the care and prevention of athletic injuries, healing not only the body, but maybe also the soul.
Excellent. What is the best part of being an athletic trainer?
I promised my mom growing up that I would never grow up. And so far, I've been able to live my life like the Jimmy Buffett song, I'm growing older, but not up. Being around young athletes keeps me young.
Would you change anything about the athletic training profession?
Well, I think in life the only thing constant is change. So every day the athletic training world changes. I think there needs to be a balance between how athletic training used to be and how it is today. And so, yes, I change a lot daily.
What's the biggest change that you've seen in your career?
Probably the biggest change is the respect now from the medical community for athletic trainers, and I think licensure and some of those issues have a lot to do with that. But certainly, right now with concussion uh, awareness, it has put the spotlight back on athletic training.
Can you share with us how you became an athletic trainer and a brief summary of your career?
Sure. In 1979, or 70, probably 77, I was fortunate enough to have a health teacher by the name of Marianne Everhart, who later on became Dr. Everhart McDonald. But she started an athletic training class at Brookhaven High School. And being an athlete, football player at 155 pounds and an offensive lineman, I realized I probably wasn't going to make it to the NFL. Uh, and I had an interest in medicine, so it seemed like the thing to do. So from there, I went on to Kent State University and got an athletic training concentration at that time. Um, and then my first job was at Otterbein College. I was there for 9 years, and then I came to Dublin Schools in 1995, and I've been here ever since.
Excellent. Is there a quote or a phrase that you are known for?
Probably far too many, and most of them we probably can't put on video, but you know, the typical ones are too far away from your heart to kill you, and rub some dirt on it. Maybe here's a straw, suck it up. I can't take credit for those. I picked those up from others, but one of the beauties of athletic training is that you build a day-to-day relationship with your athletes, and sometimes using humor or sarcasm or a gentle nudge um, may be the best thing that you can do to help your athlete survive.
What was a typical day like in college versus a typical day now?
I don't think it's changed a whole heck of a lot. The difference in college was we weren't allowed to take classes after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so all of our classes were early in the morning, and then we were in the training room until 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, depending on what the event was. It was probably 7 days a week at the college level. It's gone down to 6 days a week for me here, but uh, I tell people that our job is 11 to 7 flex time, and that um, we may be 11 to 7, it may be 11 to 11, it may be 11 to 1 a.m., but it's flexible daily, and so we have some autonomy to change our time around a little bit.
How did you document early in your career?
I was fortunate that for the most part we used paper, but during my time at Kent State, one of my mentors, Hall of Fame member John Falstick, actually became infatuated with the Apple IIe computer. And so he had a program called Database Management that he actually created his own record keeping system. And so we were forced not only to document on paper, but to document into the computer. And I think down the road that gave me a great love for using technology.
If you don't mind us asking, what was your first salary?
Started at Otterbein College as a part-time assistant for $7,500 in 1985.
How has your practice or philosophy changed over the years?
Well, I think the general philosophy remains the same. You're committed to each individual's growth and success. And for an athlete, that means competing and being on the field. So I think helping them through acute injuries and getting them to understand the difference between being hurt and injured is a huge part of that. That hasn't changed. However, I think society has changed as we've matured. We've seen that maybe some of the things that we used to do aren't so smart anymore. For instance, you don't see too many people driving a car without a seatbelt anymore, which was pretty common back in the day. So it's the same thing in athletic training.
Were you an author, creator, or inventor of anything?
Not necessarily author, creator, inventor. I guess another quote that we use sometimes is that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And sometimes plagiarism is the biggest form of flattery. I mentioned John Falstick and his computer record keeping system. I've built upon that here in Dublin. I was always frustrated with the outside programs that they kind of dictated to me what I was allowed to use as a report or what data I wanted to compile. So we've created our own here in Dublin. I've been a big part of that. We're on, we like to call it, level 9.0 now. It's been through quite a few metamorphoses. But.
Excellent. And then how did you first become involved with OATA?
I was fortunate when I moved back to Columbus to move into Westerville and met two very influential people, Hall of Fame members, Jeff Will and Bill Cooley. We would go to OATA meetings. They were actively involved, and I kind of was the gopher, jumping in and helping out. And one evening in some of our discussions, I was a little frustrated with how the system was working. And Bill started laughing, and Jeff said, well, Rick, he said, it's much easier to affect change from the inside than it is from the outside. And I took that to heart and worked my way through the OHTA and with registration and exhibits with the OHTA meeting, and then on to being a district rep and a district board chair. So I'm very proud of the time I've spent with the OHTA. While I'm not as active now, I still sit on the Linda Weber Daniel Committee and a couple of awards committees, but I think it's one of the best things I could have done.
Excellent. Do you have a favorite OATA memory?
I have a lot of favorite OHTA memories. Adversity sometimes makes you stronger, and you can look back at it and laugh. And one of the more funny ones was it was I think my first or second year as the exhibit chair, and I'd seen a blueprint of the hotel space that we were going to use. And so we set up the pipe and drape plan on all of that. Well, when we got to the site on that Friday, we realized that the ceiling was a drop ceiling and the pipe and drape wouldn't fit in the room the way we configured it. So it's 8 o'clock at night. We're going to open at 7 o'clock the next morning, and everybody from presidents to other committee members to people just walking around with some adult beverages helped me get that room set up. We pulled the all-nighter and got it done. So it really made me appreciate how athletic training is that we jump in and help each other.
Excellent. Any pearls of wisdom for young professionals?
Well, two, I would think would first being get involved. As Jeff said, it's much easier to affect change from the inside than the outside. The other would be, I tell my students all the time that be a lifetime learner. The time you think you know everything there is to know about athletic training is the time that you're probably going to be dangerous and you should get out. So continue to learn. We're fortunate here that we have Otterbein and Ohio State students that we precept for. They keep us young, but they also keep us in the loop on new trends and new discoveries in our profession. And quite frankly, that's what recharges my batteries and keeps me doing what I do.
Excellent. Any final closing thoughts?
No, other than to say thank you and the Young Professionals Committee for doing these interviews. I can remember as even a student athletic trainer in college, sitting at OHTA banquets and Hall of Fame banquets and seeing the legends of our profession talk about their trials and tribulations and being amazed and pumped up about not only how normal they were, but how human they were. And, the great Linda Weber Daniel, Jay Colville, Leo Murphy, these were people that, had pearls of wisdom for me that I'll never forget. And I hope that these videos, not necessarily mine, but everybody else's, will put some good thoughts in young professionals' minds.